Welcome to the Info Broker, featuring and hosted by Robyn Mancell.
Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? This is Robyn Mancell, and we are bringing you another exciting episode of the Info Broker. And the Info Broker is where we are keeping you in the know because you don't know what you don't know. And so I hope everybody's been having a great week. I've been doing a mindset challenge. That mindset challenge has been pretty exciting because it's getting everybody to think about what are the things that we need to do, especially during this pandemic, to keep everything going and to stay in the right state of mind. So I've been doing that now. I am on day, what is this? This is day 8. Yeah, I've been on day 8. And we have taken everybody from step 1 all the way up, and I'm going to be doing it for 30 days. So hopefully you will join us and participate in the mindset challenge. So today I'm excited about the guest that I have today. She's going to come in and she's going to be talking to us about one of my favorite subjects, is something that we can use for our health. Right? And we can still do the things that we like to do, which are we like to eat, but we can do so in a different way. So I'm excited for our guest to come on today so that she can talk to you about that. And so we're going to learn how we can do some cooking and do those things and be healthy while we're doing it. So get ready to learn more about that. Our guest, let's see if she's in the studio yet. Mia, we are looking for Mia. Is she there yet? No. Okay. Well, I'm here, and so let's talk about some things that have been going on with everybody. We have had an extremely busy week. We have a lot going on. Everybody's trying to do their best with what's going on. And so I have been showing people how they can actually get, one of the things that I've been showing people is how they can actually get educated during this time. So this way, when 2021 comes, you'll be prepared for that. That is what I've been doing. I've been connecting people, the right people together, who are wanting to learn more about what's going on, how they can become an investor. So I am connecting people to others who actually have been investors for some time and are actually teaching people how to invest. Had a lot of success with that. We've talked about it also on my podcast with Anchor. Been letting everybody know what they can do just to prepare themselves, because we have a lot of people that are out of work, and this is giving them an opportunity to create some income. It's not, I don't want to say it's difficult. I want to say that it takes some study. So it takes some study for people to learn exactly what to do and how to do it. And that's what we've been doing, is showing you and giving you a blueprint so you know what to do with that. So if you're interested in learning more about that, we do have a group on Facebook. We are teaching people how to trade in stock options, in Forex, and in futures. So that group that we have to support people as they make some decisions to learn is called Trade All Markets. So Trade All Markets is, you can come into that group. There is no charge to come into the group. And we actually even have some free classes there so that you can go through the group and see what interests you, because one type of investment does not always work for everybody. One size does not fit all. So that's what you're able to do there in the group. You are able to learn. You're able to take a couple of free classes, and those classes will help you decide what is suited more to your personality, because everybody's got a different way that they're doing things. Give you a perfect example. I had a lady contact me today, and she wanted to know those of you that are in the market have noticed that the market has been going down. And so one of the things that she wanted to know was, what should she do? Well, I can't tell people what to do. But what I did do is I asked her a series of questions so that she could ask herself what it is that she wanted to do. So I just kind of guided her through some questions. Again, we are not in the business of telling people what to do or what to invest in, but I can ask you some questions that will help me figure out where is it that you're trying to go? What are you trying to do with your family? What's the purpose of what it is that you're doing? So some of the questions that I would ask is, I asked her, the very first question is, what is it that you're trying to achieve? What is it, the game plan? So as you were making this investment, what were your expectations for being in this investment? And she had to think about that, because originally it was, I just want to make some extra money. Okay, but what does that mean? What does extra money mean? Does it mean what's a little? What's a lot? What's the percentage? So I had to ask a number of questions because I was trying to get her to make the decision for herself and to figure out what was my thought process when I did this, when I went into this in the first place. What is it that I was thinking about? So I asked her a series of questions. We did that for some time, not once, not giving her any kind of advice, again, because that's not what we do. But what I try to do is try to help people figure out for themselves and ask themselves the questions that they may have not thought about asking. So that's what happened there, is I was trying to find out what exactly was it that she was looking to do and looking to achieve. So gave her that information. She came to the thought that she didn't really have a plan. She wasn't really quite sure. She just kind of was jumping in because everybody else is jumping in, and that's not really a good strategy. A better strategy is to have a plan that works for you and works for your family, so that you can understand what it is that you are looking to do and you're looking to achieve. I believe after we got off the call, she was able to make some decisions that worked for her. But there were a lot of questions that, like I said, she had not even thought about asking herself. So when you guys decide that you want to get into investing, one of the things you want to do is find out what, the first question you want to ask yourself is why? Why am I doing this, and what are my expectations? Because then that way you already know what the plan is. It's kind of like getting in a car and going somewhere, but not knowing how to get to where you're trying to go. Nowadays we have GPS. So if we turn on our GPS, we know that if we put in the right directions, then typically we're going to get there the right way because of our GPS. You got to do that same thing with everything that you're doing. And you have to know what's your starting point and where are you trying to go from there, from your starting point to where are you looking at going. And so those are one of the things that you want to make sure that you ask yourself, that you have somewhat of a detailed plan. Know even to the percent. I just was on a phone with a gentleman, and he said the same thing. He knew that when he was making an investment, he knew what percent, if he hit that particular percent, then he would close out the investment or close out the trade, because he had made the amount of money that he was looking to make. And so that's really what you want to think about. You want to think about what are my expectations? And a lot of times we don't, when it comes to investing, it's very easy to get into that mode of gambling. Gambling says, I'm just going to roll the dice and I'll end up wherever it is that I end up. And so you want to make sure that you have a really good game plan on what it is that you're looking to do, and that is going to help you get to your desired goal. So where is it that you're trying to get to? Okay. Also, while you are in the group in Trade Off Markets, there are some free classes that you can take inside of trade-off markets, and those free classes will give you a feel for what is required in each financial market. It depends. Everybody has a different desire on what it is that they're looking to do. So really, really important that you be able to figure that out. Like, what is it? It may, especially if you don't have any idea of what a particular market, what's involved, these free classes that are in the group give you a chance to get acclimated to it and see if this is something that you like, that suits. It could have to do with the time of day that you might have to be into the market, the amount of work. It could even have to do with the amount of money that you have to put in order to get started. Okay, so there's a lot of information in there. Don't rush yourself with something like this because it's really, really important. It's very important that you know exactly what is expected so that you aren't taken off guard. So that's one of the things. That's why we stress so much the education piece of that. Don't come into anything thinking about the money so much. Think about the knowledge and the education that you're going to get, because once you get that education and that knowledge, no one can take that information away from you. So very, very important that you get yourself educated versus have the focus on the amount of money that you're going to make. There are lots of investments out in the world, lots of them. And so you want to make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself involved in. People like to say things like, I didn't know. But in so many areas of life, lack of knowledge does not excuse us from things, certain things kind of, it's almost like things happen to us instead of we are in control of what happens. So you have to be really, really careful with that, of getting involved in things that you really don't know anything about or you're not clear about. I can recall, I'll tell you guys a little story. I can recall, let me see. I'm looking to see if my guest is in the studio yet. Okay, no, not yet. So let's see. Okay, so anyway, let me tell you guys a little story about something that happened to me. Do you guys remember the what did they call that? The we have had a number of real estate markets that are downturns with that, and I was just buying things left and right. But here's the problem. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't do my homework. I didn't get educated. It was just so easy to buy. I think at that time I had about, 5 or 6 properties. Here again lies the problem. If you're not educated in what it is that you're doing, it's really easy to obtain stuff, opportunity, especially in this day and age. There's a lot. But if you don't learn how that works, if you don't learn the ins and outs of how certain opportunities and investments work, then you leave yourself wide open to the issues that will happen when things don't always go the way they were planned. And so it was easy to obtain those items, but it wasn't easy to keep them, because when the market flipped, and it did, I'm trying to think, 2008, somewhere around then, when the market flipped, I was not prepared because I didn't have the education for what do you do when there's a bad market, which is a lot of what we're seeing right now in the stock market. So a lot of people were making money during a bullish market when everything was going up. I mean, it was like just everything was going our way, right? Or it looked to be that way. But as soon as it turned, a lot of people didn't know what to do with that because they were used to the market going up, 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 and had a long run of doing that. But what you want to be able to do in all things is when things get bad, are you prepared to sustain through that time? And so during this pandemic, there are a lot of people that are losing their jobs. There are a lot of people who are out of work or losing their homes. It's just a lot of things that are going on. The numbers are staggering in some cases. However, we should always have a plan, even though something like this was totally unexpected. But what is your plan? Do you have an emergency fund set up? Before you, that's the one thing too. Before you get into any investing, you should have 6 months of savings put away. If you have 6 months of savings, that's somewhat able to sustain you during the tough times. Perhaps people during this time live together. A lot of people, different cultures will do that, where 3 or 4 families will live in a house together because that helps when times get tough. So sometimes we get really comfortable when things are going great, but it's great to have some type of insurance for when things don't always go our way. Just think about that. Sometimes things don't always go our way. We have things that happen to us that are unexpected. It's one of the reasons why we have insurance on our cars, we have insurance on our homes, insurance on ourselves, right? We should have insurance on ourselves because there are things that happen that were not part of the plan. And so there are things that you can do to reduce your risk. Risk is something that is part of life, is part of living, but there are things that you can do to reduce that risk so that it is not a major. So you really have to figure out what is your risk tolerance, but we have to be in the business of preventative. If we're in the business of preventative or prevention, a lot of times we can help mitigate some of that risk just by doing that. So it's really important that you think about what are your plans? Have you made plans? What am I going to do if this does not work out? The great thing, I think, about this, what should we call it? The gig economy, or a lot of people don't like it, but the great thing about it is that I have friends who I have seen that perhaps they lost their job, but they were able to be a part of that economy where they could create some additional income until they found something else. I just posted on my page, there's Amazon. Amazon is having there was a ton of virtual jobs that were posted on Amazon. And I put the entire link on my page so that people could take a look at that. And perhaps that could help some people have the ability to work from home. It's definitely a different time. And one of the things that, you probably heard this cliche before, but tough times don't last, but tough people do. And that is what we are finding, that we have to be tough people during this time. So I wanted to talk to you guys about just giving you some, I don't even want to call it hope, because hope is not really a strategy. It isn't a strategy. I mean, it feels good to hope for the best, but I think what we have to do, I know what we have to do, is we have to be prepared with a plan. So when we're prepared with a plan, we don't have to really hope for the best. We can actually do things that are for the best. And that's really what we want to get into the habit of doing with whatever we are doing out there, right? Is to think about how we can do things that are going to make things better. Families supporting, helping out, family and friends, whatever it is that we need to do to put ourselves in a better light to help with things. Sometimes it's just even living that minimalist life, living the minimalist life where maybe you don't need as many of the things that you thought you needed before. But again, I think there's some good things that can come out of this. And hopefully, what people are doing is taking a pause and realizing that it's not as bad as it could be, always could be. And unfortunately, there are people that have lost their lives during this time. And that's, of course, a sad thing. Um, but there are things that we're just, the unforeseen. We have unforeseen things going on in our life. And so hopefully, this is a time we can take a pause and we can do things that'll help us learn from this year and turn that into a better 2021. And again, one of our things that we're doing over in the okay, so it looks like my guest is here. Yay! You guys are sick of hearing me going on and on. So let me introduce to you my guest. She is here, and I'm excited that she's made it. So we're going to talk about, we've been talking about all these different things, but we're going to talk about health. And so she has created a product that is going to help you because what's one of the things that's been going on during this pandemic? We love to eat, don't we? We just love to eat. And so what she has done is she has found a way for to add some flavor to your food, but in a healthy way. So thank you. I'm excited to bring her on, seasoned by Mia. Jamil, are you here?
Hi.
Hi, you made it.
I've been having some connection issues. I'm so sorry.
Oh, well, that's okay because you're here. You're here. You're here. So, how are you doing?
I'm great in yourself.
Oh, I am doing great. I'm excited because I wanted to share this with everybody. Seasoned by Mia.
Yes, ma'am. I'm so happy to be a part of this. Thank you.
Oh, you are so welcome. So, why don't you tell everybody? I gave them a little bit about, in your seasoning, but why don't you tell everybody? I'm calling you Mia, but your name is actually Jamia,
Jimmy.
right?
Mhm.
Right? Okay, so why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how you got started?
So I'm from Toonsboro, Georgia. Um, Below Macon, about 30 minutes from Macon, Georgia. I began doing the seasonings because we do a lot of cooking for family and friends, and we have a lot of allergies in our family, like shellfish, gluten, red dyes. So, cooking, I was creating my own seasonings without, noticing that I was doing it, just getting different herbs and spices together. So, my family would tell me, like, hey, you really should turn this into a business. Like, you're really, really good at this. And I was like, nah, I just do this for you guys. It's no biggie. And so I did, and I started passing it to some friends, and they agreed. They were like, you should definitely turn this into a business. Like, I love it. It's full of flavor, low in sodium. Like, you should really do this. And so one day I was like, okay, well, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to give it a try. And we made a year, August the 23rd.
Wow, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
So, how did you said something about your family and allergies. Was that what first motivated you to try to figure out something? Because most of the time when people come up with something like you did, there's a problem they're trying to solve. So, tell us who you were trying to solve it for. Was it close family? Was it yourself?
So it's for my sister. When she first became gluten free, because of the celiac, we had to read all of the ingredients on everything we purchased. So,
Mm.
and that's what made me start looking at the seasonings. Like, hey, can you eat this? And then I'll see these long scientific words. I had no clue what they were. So I'm in the grocery store for hours, Googling everything. Like, what's this? Why is it in here? What's the nutritional value? Even text to her, like, hey, can you use this? Like, and a lot of the things that I was looking at, like, for one is MSG.
Mm.
It has no nutritional value. It's an
Why do they put
enhancer.
it in food?
It's an enhancer. So
Oh,
it's like salt times, like it's super super salty, but it's a food enhancer. So it makes the taste, like just burst, but it has no nutritional value.
so does
So
it make you want to eat more?
yes,
Okay. I think I heard that before, that it does make you want to eat more. There's some chemical or something in there that makes you want more food, right?
yes. So
So is that the reason they put it in?
that, you become addicted to it. The chemicals that are in it, which causes you to want to eat more. So that's what, makes you like, oh, I gotta have this. Or like, say,
Hmm.
a lot of people, when we try to make like life changes and struggle to change our eating habits, it's because mentally we are addicted to those chemicals that have been added to our foods.
Wow.
And a lot of
Do
people,
they?
like, you don't even think that your seasonings, what you're using, is in there.
Wow. So when you got started, who was you testing this on? Was it just family when you first started?
Family and friends.
Okay, okay. And so would you how would they like were they just so impressed? Did it bring out more of the flavor in the food? What was it that really got people thinking, you know what, you need to sell this?
It was the flavor and the fact that it wasn't salty. So anytime, like,
Ah.
we'll get one of the bigger brands and it may be high in
Mhm.
sodium, I would add different herbs and maybe extra garlic or onion to tone the sodium down. Um, but with what I
Oh.
was making, I didn't have to do that. And it
Wow.
became easier because we no longer had to, my sister didn't have to ask, what's in this? We didn't have to make two of the same meals, which we've been doing for years. So
Wow.
it's definitely, it helped us. So, when they were like, you should do it. And I was like, I don't know, about starting a business and everything. And I was like, well, when I thought about it, I was actually on an assignment
Mhm.
for my day job. And I was like, if this is helping my family, I know it can help others. If it's making it easier
Absolutely.
for us, it can definitely make it easier for others.
So tell us, how did you, was it just you? Did you start doing it from home, and were you literally bottling, labeling, and doing all that yourself?
Yes, and it's still me. I still do it
Oh,
all. I have 30 30 products, including hot sauce now. Yes.
what?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So I
And are
print the
you still
labels.
doing this yourself?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. That's
Yes.
huge. So
So,
how are people finding out about you? How are they hearing about you?
social media, word of mouth. I've been added to a store back home in Wilkinson County.
Mhm. Okay.
Um, I partner with this delivery service called the Better Buggy. So
Uh-huh.
their clientele found out about me, and I've done pop up shops around the city. And when
Oh,
I
that's
go on contracts, like, I do full time, I do hotel work. I'm a hotel consultant.
uh-huh.
So I'll just talk to people there that have been in the hotel for months, or and they'll try it out and they'll tell others, and it spreads.
It sounds like it. Now, you're close to Atlanta, or is that your general
Yes.
vicinity? Is Atlanta? Okay. All right. So the word's got to be getting out there, because Atlanta's got some good food.
Yes, yes. I'm happy to be in the future working with some restaurants and bars, and so once I come off the road and I'm back home, then I'll hopefully be able to partner with them.
Now, have you been able to transition to from your full-time job to doing just this now?
I have,
Is that the
so
goal?
it's the goal. I have, because what I do is contract, so I can accept or turn down a contract whenever.
Ah,
So
okay.
I began the business in August of 2019. I accepted
Uh-huh.
my I ended my last contract in October, and I just accepted a contract this August. So almost a year. I've just been doing the seasonings.
Wow. So tell us about some of your most popular. Tell us about your most popular seasonings and what uh what is the best, I guess, dish to go with some of them. Tell us about some of what they are and what they should be used on.
So I have my do I have one? So I have my all purpose with me. Oh, it's on this side.
Okay.
So
Ah,
this is my I call it my everyday delicious. Most of
okay.
my seasonings have nicknames. So like this one is my everyday delicious. It's all purpose, used on anything. I will use this in the morning when I'm fixing scrambled eggs. Um,
Okay.
it just gives it, the extra burst of flavor without having to use, multiple seasonings in one. You just use this and you're good.
Okay.
My number one seller, and it's one of my favorites, well, is I call it my ATL special, which is my hot lemon pepper.
Oh,
So the
that
lemon pepper. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, what are we gonna make with that? I want to hear. What are we making with that?
Wings.
Of course, of course.
You have to have wings. So
Now, do I just put that on my wings? I don't need to put anything but that?
that's it.
Oh, okay.
So my ultimate goal was to, if you want to use this entire bottle, you can. This is
Mm-hmm.
the only thing you need. You don't have to add anything extra unless it's just your preference to add more, but
Okay.
you
Oh,
don't need it.
okay.
But my ultimate goal was, if you use this entire bottle, you can eat your food without having to worry about high blood pressure.
Wow. That's
So
huge.
that is my ultimate goal, because I look at our community, and we high
Mm-hmm.
blood pressure, high cholesterol,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something that I like. Once I got started, I was like, okay, this is something that we need to work on, is
Right.
having
Absolutely.
all natural products full of flavor without the salt or low in sodium.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So tell us what's in. Tell us what kind of herbs and things are you using that are part of your brand.
I use fresh rosemary, parsley,
Mm-hmm.
basil. I'll even, like, for my Jamaican jerks, I call it my island pleasure.
Ah, okay.
I I even have the Scotch bonnet peppers. Um,
Oh, nice.
and I use, and one thing about it is, even though the Jamaican jerk has brown sugar in it, I
Uh-huh.
find substitutes, because I have groups that I'm in that are keto friendly. And they reached out to me like,
Oh,
hey, I would like this. Could you make it keto friendly? I have a keto friendly
okay.
version.
Wow. So you got something a little of something for everybody, right?
Yes.
You know what I like, Mia? I like that I would prefer to have all seasonings in one, like just to use that one, right? So I like what you said about the wings, right?
Hmm.
So I don't have to use anything else. It sounds like with what you have, whatever it is pertaining to, because you said you have 30 different types of seasoning, then I'm sure you have it listed on there. You kind of help us know what we can use that particular seasoning for, right?
Yes. So my do I have one with me? This is This is my ranch. I call it the dressing. So you can
Okay.
either use it to make a homemade ranch dressing, or you can use it as a seasoning.
Oh, wow. So do you put the recipe on there so that we know what to do to make that ranch dressing?
It's not on the bottles yet. I'm actually
Mhm.
changing in the process of changing my labels and
Okay.
revamping. I'm actually in the process of revamping my site as well. So
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
add some recipes and more ideas when people ask, so what can I do with this? I'm like, oh, this will make a great, dressing or seasoning for a dish. Or I've used this ranch with on some pork chops before. I personally
Really?
don't eat pork chops, but my mother-in-law does, and I tried it
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and she loved it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, I noticed on the bottle it looked like you had the Facebook. Was that Facebook and Instagram on there?
So I have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Google reviews.
Okay. So, is there a group on Facebook that people can request to join to learn more about how to use your seasonings? Do you have a group
At the
or a
at the
page?
moment, I just have a page, which is Seasoned by
Okay.
Mia. Um, I'm very active. All of my pages, I'm very active on. It comes directly to me. Um,
Okay.
I have a I have a message up, that says give me 24 to 48 hours, but most of the time if I get the notification, I respond right away.
So, I'm going to tell you something I think everybody would love, and I think you could probably get some collaborations out of this too. I would start a group. So I'm giving you just a little hint because I have a lot of groups. I would start a group. And this would be because, like you said earlier, there are a lot of people that have allergies or are battling certain things like high blood pressure, diabetes, right?
Yes.
I think you should have a group, and that way the people in the group can learn more about what your seasonings are. And you can kind of go live inside of the group and answer questions or tell people like have a seasoning of a day. You could do that for a whole 30 days because you got 30 seasonings. Or you
Yes.
could do you could do one a week. But I think Mia, that what you're doing is so incredible that I think people should know more about, because I never even thought about that. I'm just thinking about, I think most of us go to the store, we have our standard seasonings that we buy, and what we need is to hear. I'm really excited about hearing what you, because I don't take the time to chop up rosemary and parsley and different things like that, but you've got it all in one place in one bottle. And so maybe we don't make certain foods because we're thinking of the process of going and getting all those seasonings and stuff. So you literally have saved us time and probably saved us money too by putting them all in one place. I think you would be so popular to do that.
Okay. Thank you. I sure will. I'll start one. I will start a group.
Hmm. Yeah, because there are other people too that like that have cooking shows or different things. You would get so much. People would really want to know more about that, because I'm sitting here thinking now, like, okay, what I need to think about with seasonings, because you have some for seafood.
Yes, I actually. So what I my goal is. Sorry, I'm on my iPad, so I'm trying to keep it from sliding.
It's okay.
So my goal was to whatever I have was to match something spicy. So I
Okay.
have a seafood, which I call my ocean motion, and I
Hmm.
have a spicy seafood, which I call tsunami.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah,
That's really hot, hot. All right. Is that one really hot?
it's not really hot. It has a kick. It is. I do use cayenne pepper and red chilies in it to give it
Oh,
a spice. Um, but most people they'll get the containers and use them in the seafood boils, so it's
okay.
not too
Okay.
spicy.
Ooh, so that sounds good right there. And you're talking about the bag with the seafood in it that we
Yes.
talking about? Oh my gosh, that sounds really, really good. So 30 different types of seasoning from everything from our breakfast to our lunch. I would take it from different meats to soups and things like that too. You got one for soup?
So I don't have one directly for soup.
Mm-hmm.
I would, when anytime I've made it, I do have an
Uh-huh.
Italian that I add
Oh.
into the pot.
Uh-huh.
I also have an adobo that I add in. I'll
Wow.
use the all-purpose,
Uh-huh.
um, and I have a roasted garlic pepper. If I wanted to
Okay.
have kind of like a roasted flavor to it, I'll use that.
Okay, now didn't I see I'm trying to don't you do some kind of spreads or something too? What's that I
Not
saw about a bagel or something?
all my everything bagel.
Yes,
So
yes,
the
yes, yes.
sprinkles, yes, I do have the everything bagel seasoning. I call it sprinkle my bagel.
Okay.
Um, it's great on avocado toast as well. Salads, we've tried it on
Oh,
eggs.
you got
So
me there when you said avocado toast. I love avocado toast.
yes, I even created for the breakfast side because I wanted more items for breakfast.
Mhm.
Um, I created a cinnamon sugar.
Mhm.
So
Oh.
I had someone tell me like they don't just use it for breakfast; they'll put it on
Mhm.
their sweet potato fries, and I was like, really? That sounds
Ooh.
really good.
Oh yeah. See, the reason I said that you need that group is because look at the people that are using your seasonings are coming up with different recipes, right?
Yes,
And that's that's like free advertisement for you. That's like, getting people to try it and people love talking about food. And
yes,
so I'm already thinking, I was just thinking about the bagels because I remember looking at that and thinking, oh, that sounds really good. But now you tell me avocado toast, it sounds even better, right?
yes.
And what is it that makes that for the bagel or the avocado? What do you put in there? Is it just you have one type of seasoning for the what do you call it again? Bagel?
The
Sprinkle my bagel.
everything sprinkle my bagel. So
Okay.
it's the poppy seeds, sesame seeds. You put minced garlic and
Mm-hmm.
onion flakes.
Oh, that sounds really good. So what's your
So
most popular seasoning?
I it's the ATL special, which is the hot lemon pepper, and the roasted garlic pepper. Those two are it was
Uh,
before I created the roasted garlic pepper, it was the
uh-huh.
ATL special, and now they're kind of neck and neck. So
Really? So
yes.
so are people on how do people order? Are you in any stores or do they order directly from you? How do people order?
They order directly from me on my site,
Okay.
www.seasonedbymia.com, and
Okay.
I fill the orders and ship them myself.
You are busy. You have got to
Yes,
be busy. Yeah.
yes,
And so do you consider it a family business?
I do. I've actually one thing I love about my family is we pride ourselves in entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's awesome because my sister has a trucking company. So when I do get into stores,
Oh.
she will be my distributor.
Oh, very
Um,
smart. Very smart.
I started my niece and nephew line inside of my brand. So
Hmm.
my nephew has chips and my niece has salsas.
Okay, wait a minute. 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 Your niece has chips, right?
Salsa. She
Salsa,
has
and
this
your okay.
has chips.
So do you have a gift basket? You guys do a gift basket yet?
I want to do one for the Christmas season, the holiday
Mm-hmm.
season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on a trying to I want to find some like small, you know how McCormick have the small seasoning
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
shakers. I want to find those and create a gift box So someone
Ah.
can order the gift box as a gift. I have people that do order the seasonings as gifts.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, to family members, dad, uncles that love the grill. But I actually want to create an actual gift box. So that's hopefully coming soon.
Yeah, that's a really great idea because, especially with people liking to barbecue, that should be a big market for you because people, I guess, kind of like a rub. Do you have a rub?
Yes, I have four.
Ah, you have you have thought of everything. So you have a rub for barbecue, correct?
I have a barbecue. I have a chicken rub, a steak rub, a pork rub. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds really, really good. And didn't you say you were saying one of these, what about like people that like vegetables? Because I think you for people that are vegan and don't want to put anything on meat, do you have something that they can just sprinkle on their vegetables? What do you suggest for that?
All of my seasonings are versatile except one.
Okay.
And when you order online, you have the option. So like
Mm-hmm.
this dressing, it
Okay.
comes dairy free, and so you
Oh.
have the option to click, because I do have vegan friends that are chefs and
Mm-hmm.
do YouTube channels, and they purchase from me. And so they'll go on and say, "Hey, I would like the dairy free," and I'll ship
Mm-hmm.
it out to them.
Oh, Mia. We need to get you on Shark Tank or something because I'm telling you. I
I've
mean,
heard that, I think, like at least 3 times this week.
I bet you have because look, we all typically buy the same seasonings, right? Seasoning salt, garlic, pepper, right?
Yes,
Maybe a few different things in there. But what I love about what you do is you thought of everything. And that bagel, I'm sitting here thinking about that right now. That bagel, sprinkle me bagel, because that makes breakfast more fun, right? I think
yes,
we want to eat, try to eat healthy and eat good food, but you also want it to taste good.
yes, definitely,
And it sounds
most
like that's
definitely.
what you've done. Yeah, that's really what you've done with that. So I am looking forward to you. We got to get you in that group so that we can share that. And then we can even have people share recipes in there. And from that, you could probably put a recipe book together, right?
Yes,
If you don't have
I,
enough things. So your family members, now you're turning this into a family affair. I'm thinking now, do they ship out their chips and salsa too?
no, I do it. So
Oh, you
they're
do
in the
it?
process. Yeah, they're 12 and 13. So, but we like to start them early. To know basically you're seeing the benefits. The fruits of your
Yeah,
labor.
yeah.
So they help me in the process of making everything.
Okay.
I'll show them how I go through and make everything. They love it, and then they get to see when I come back. Like, I'll go to a pop-up shop and take
Uh huh.
everything
Uh huh.
with me, and I'm like, okay, well, here's your money, and they're like, wait, really? I made this much? So it makes them want to keep going.
That is really nice. And so, are there chips and salsa offered on your site too?
It will be once the new site is launched. It will be.
Okay.
It'll
All
be
right.
under the
So here's
snacks
what
tab.
Okay. That I think that's beautiful what you're doing, teaching the kids about that too. You're showing them how to be entrepreneurs right from, I mean, that's a perfect age.
Yes, yes,
So what I would love for you to do is to, so somebody who's brand new, because obviously we'll get to know more about it as we purchase more items, but why don't you tell people what you think their first three purchases should be? Like, what do you like the first three that you think somebody who's thinking about ordering from you? I already know what I'm going to order. So, But I will tell everybody what you think they should order, which will kind of cover the gamut of everything from breakfast to dinner.
From So I would say definitely the all-purpose, the everyday delicious, because it can be used on any and every dish.
All right,
Uh,
writing that
Meat,
down.
non-meat, um, and to add some excitement, like if you're a griller, the brown sugar
Okay.
bourbon.
Ooh,
We use that
ooh.
when we grill. I love it on my lamb.
Okay,
That's my favorite to use.
okay.
And the if you want something sweet, the cinnamon
Hmm.
sugar.
Okay. When I was a kid, that was our favorite thing. We used to cinnamon sugar toast
Yes, that was
in the in
that's
the
where it came from.
right? Is it in the
Yes.
broiler? Oh my gosh, I gotta make that for my granddaughter. You know what I mean? I that was our favorite thing in the world.
Yes.
So now I can just get it already made. Okay, that is perfect. Now you're bringing back some memories. We did
I
that.
asked when I asked my childhood friend, I was like, I said, you remember when we was at Granny house and we used to do the cinnamon and sugar on the toast? What was that called? And we called it something else, and I could not think of the name. She was like, I know what you're talking about. I said, well, we'll just go with cinnamon sugar. We could never think of what we called it, but we'll just go with cinnamon sugar. And she was like, okay. So I created it, and I also made the keto version, and the keto community loves it. They're happy that they can have something sweet, but it does not have the sugar in it.
Okay, wait a minute now. You created the cinnamon sugar for the toast keto version?
Hmm.
Oh my goodness. Okay. That is really good. So the keto, everybody's hearing about you because of your pop-ups, because of you being out there in the community. So they just kind of know that they can go to you and say, "Hey, can you create a different version?" And you just do it, right?
Yes, I'm actually working on a selection for a chef now.
Mhm.
He gave he just he was like, "Hey, this is what I'm thinking of doing. Can you do this for me? This is, what I want it to taste like." So they'll come to me and say, "Hey, I want to use this in the seasoning, and this is how I want it to taste. I want this, like when you eat it, I want this first, this second, and then the however the heat plays out, and I'm able to play with it and get it to where they want it to be."
I love it. I love it. Well, hey, everybody, if you are watching, you have got to go to Seasoned by Mia and place your order because as soon as we're done, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So it is seasoned by Mia, MEA.com. And as you heard her say, all purpose, the brown sugar bourbon. Ooh, that sounds like a really good, that sounds incredible. And then if you want something, if you want to recall, and it's so funny, just talking to you now made me think about that. I had not thought about that in years that we used to
Yes.
do that. So now I got something I can share with my granddaughter that when I grew up brought back so many memories, right?
Yes,
There
ma'am.
must have been a ton of us that did that. So thank you so much for coming on the show, Mia. I'm so excited about what it is that you're doing, and you can show people how to flavor the world, but do it in a healthy way. Do it with all natural ingredients, no MSG. Remember that, no MSG, people. And that is such a blessing to have you here to share this with everybody. So, once again, everybody, Seasoned by Mia. She is an entrepreneur that is out there helping us put some flavor in our lives and do it in a great way. Thank you again, Mia, for coming on our show. And I'll be looking for that Facebook group.
Thank you. And just I'm still out of town, away from home. So I will be back on the 20th. So what I've been doing right now, there's a 2-week wait on orders.
Okay.
So what I've
Okay.
been doing is when I come in, I fill them,
Uh-huh.
ship them, and fly back out.
Sounds
normally,
good to me.
normally
It's
it's a 2 to 7 business day, which is mostly within 3 days. I get them out,
okay.
but I'm on the West Coast, so yeah. Instead of
No,
the East
that's
Coast,
fine. It'll be worth the wait. So it'll definitely be worth the wait. So thank you for coming. Thank you for visiting us. And again, we look forward to being in that Facebook group. This is Robyn Mancell, the info broker, keeping you in the know because you don't know what you don't know. See you guys. Bye-bye.
bye.